Hello, my name is Piotr Kudrys. I'm the product owner at the Proget. Today I would like to speak about 7 mobile threats in 2020 and of course how to deal with them using EMM solution. So before we start and talking about our threats, most popular threats, I want to mention a few words about our company, where we are from. So our company is a strictly Polish company. We are on the market since 2007. We are specialized in mobile device security from the very beginning. We are always working with the best. So we start with cooperating with BlackBerry, which at the time was the synonymous, in fact, of security and data privacy on the mobile devices. Well, as you guys already know, the company BlackBerry start moving back from the market. They are not as well. Maybe they are still secure, but they are not present anymore in many of the countries. So that's why we create our own solution based on our own experience with our customers and our partners. Our goal was to create a solution which was very easy to use, very simple, and in fact, very feature rich. So if you want enterprise grade security level in your small business, we can deliver that in very, very low costs. So this is very, very important. In the last year, we'll start expansion from the Poland to other countries. We open branches in Czech Republic, in Russia, in Turkey, and in United Kingdom. For the next year, we are planning expansion in North and South of America. So this is a very big step for us as well. Of course, creating the EMM solution, so Enterprise Mobility Management solution, is very strictly connected with working with technology, with being up to date all the time. So that's why we have partnerships with the Apple, with Google, with Huawei, Microsoft, Samsung, and Zebra, and many other vendors as well, just to deliver our customers, to deliver them the highest security level possible, to be always ready when the new Android version, when the new iOS arrive, we are ready, and our customers can safely manage all devices they have. All right, so now we're gonna go to our topic. So we're gonna start with one of the most common issue you've already, I guess, heard about. So malicious apps. The enormous amount of the application which are available on all kinds of markets, so App Store, Google Play, Windows Store. They are usually very important for users. The users want to use the many different kind of application, but there is always a risk, because even simply looking application can in fact be very dangerous for you, for your privacy, for data of your company. So it's very important to be careful what you are doing, because even very innocent looking application, when you download it, can ask you about some permissions for some folders, some functions of the mobile device. For example, if you download, for example, calculator, and it will ask for access to your contacts, you should be curious about it. But this is still an issue for many of the users, because usually the end user just keep pressing accept all the permissions. They don't read it, then don't think about it. And this can be very, very, very huge problem for everyone which is concerned about his privacy and his security. And it's really painful for our IT administrators if they don't have any proper tool. So the best answer for that will be the use of EMM solution, which can support IT administrator in the company or in institution, and deliver all necessary applications for the users. So we can cover the distribution. So all the necessary application will be installed on the mobile device, any kind of mobile device, in fact. And the next step will be just managing the permissions for that applications. And of course, we can configure application as well. So for example, if you deliver a Gmail application for your employees, you can also already configure that application, so you don't need any additional work with the user to configure mail account and stuff like that. They just need to put the password inside. So it's that simple. Well, if we talk about the application and we talk about the data leak, the issues, the high issue, which is related, in fact, to malicious apps, is of course data leakage, which can be very hard to avoid if the end user aren't aware of what they are doing, in fact, or they are acting really careless. So the biggest issue with data leakage is that there can be many different sources of that. So malicious applications, of course, one of them, but there is many different ways to how you can lose your own data and won't be able to control it. So in case your company using EMM solution, the managing of that might be really simple. Mostly because you can just force the application to work like you want. So for example, if you create two separate spaces on the mobile device, like a business space and private space, in very popular bring your own device model of management, or COPE, which is corporate owned personally enabled, then you have two different spaces on your mobile phone, and one of them is private, one of them is corporate, and there is very hard to if IT administrators don't allow it, it's very hard to move data from one site to another if they don't want to do it. So it's very useful. Of course, data leakage can happen also not only in application, but just careless user could, for example, copy the file or open the file in and send it to someone for example, some social media messenger, which isn't as secure as many can expect, and this also may cause an issue. But for example, if you lock device in some kind of container and only business apps can connect with each other and not with any other unnecessary app, it's a very secure approach, so you can minimize that issue significantly. So let's go forward. The next step will be connected. The next issues will be connected strictly with network. So the first one will be unsecured Wi-Fi. In the modern days, when most of the employees work remotely or work at home, it's very popular. Well, it's still very popular that somebody go to some public place and work from that space, but it's very dangerous for everyone, because many companies just deliver free hotspots, free Wi-Fi for everyone, which is usually unsecured at all. There is no password, so anyone can connect, and you're just asking yourself for hits. So this is something you should avoid as the end user. So if you see very good Wi-Fi with awesome range, with awesome statistics, just don't use it. Especially if it's not secured by a password, because it can be just pure honeypot. So you should look for that. If you are using corporate-owned device, if you use corporate device and that device is protected by EMM solution, it's very simple for you to feel more secure, in fact, because IT administrator using solution like Proget can deliver you all the Wi-Fi you need, can deliver you all business informations through all the business hotspots that are necessary, and in fact can prevent you from connecting to unsecured Wi-Fi. So there was a time on the mobile devices when they are automatically try to connect to any available Wi-Fi, which was very dangerous, because you as end user don't even know that you are connecting to something, and this is very easy to protect using EMM solution like Proget. The next issue is very similar, and in fact, I already mentioned it. It's network spoofing. It can be used as, for example, honeypot, where there's a free Wi-Fi which isn't secured, and you, for example, think that this is from the cafe you are in, and in fact, that can be kind of creepy guy sitting in the corner, and he can share that Wi-Fi and just waiting for prey to catch something in his web. If you connect to such Wi-Fi, it can be very dangerous for you. If you connect if you connect to that, in fact, you can be your whole movement in network can be sniffed out. They can capture your data. So that kind of data flow, it's terrible. It's very easy to get into it, and it's hard to defend, in fact. But there is also some very sophisticated attack related to network spoofing. So, for example, someone can try to prepare a network which look like your own company network and look very similar. You may have the same password. And in that case, you will be just sitting tight and be ready to get your information, to deliver your information for someone else. And this may be very, very hard for everyone to even detect that you are working as, in fact, man in the middle inside of your company. So you have to watch out for that. You can sleep well if your company using a proper EMM solution. So there is many companies offering software called mobile threat defense, mobile threat prevention. And it's usual just trying to figure out where you are connected, if you are connected to the right network. The approach we design in Proget is that you can also put the MAC address of the hotspot, of the access point. So this is next step of the security, to just keep avoiding being sharing data, your own company data, with everyone else. And the next problem we encounter is out-of-date device. It's in fact quite a huge issue nowadays, because usual devices are supported for 2 or 3 years at the maximum. So this may be very, very hard for you, especially if you want to go in the more cheap approach. So maybe you don't buy the new device, you buy a device which has from, I don't know, the last year flagship flag device, and you can have an issues with that, and all because that the technology is moving so fast, and all the new security updates, new security holes that can be found are you will have very hard work to do to just keep up to date with your devices. It's not very common to update everything all the time. And not the only device are the issues, because you may have the same issues, the same loopholes that somebody can use if you are using outdated applications. But in fact, if you're using solution which can manage devices, you can of course do much good for your company devices. For example, you can force the end users to keep their applications up to date, which make just clear one of the loopholes to prevent data leak. And this may be very, very important for you as the IT administrator. And of course, using solution, mobile device management solution, you can of course also force the end user to install all the updates that your device can have. So this is very important, to be always up to date. So don't be worried. You don't need to keep one update behind. You just want to be up to date. Believe me, you just want to be secure with that. And the next one is very, very common. You can hear even very urban legends about the passwords that the users use. And in fact, on a mobile device, it's significant higher, the worse, in fact, password hygiene. So many of the users just want to get to their content on the mobile device as soon as it arrives. So if you hear that your device is vibrating, you just want to get to the information you seek. And there is a way to protect yourself. You just have to use the good password, because if you don't do that, if you use, for example, very easy to guess combination of the numbers, so for ones or 1234 or stuff like that, it's very easy to crack. So if you won't be able to get to your device, if you left it somewhere, it will be a significant issue for you. As person who is strictly responsible for security of our solution, and also for also advising our customers how to be more secure, I usually suggest that the IT administrator should force the password policy for the mobile devices, all kind of mobile devices, in fact. So this may be very useful for IT, if they can be sure that if they want to use at least four digital numeric password, the end user will have to use that kind of password on the mobile device. They cannot use the pattern. Of course, we can also allow the end users to use any kind of biometry. So if you want to use fingerprint, if you want to use Face ID or iris scanner, you can allow that, but it's of course always optional. We always recommend to just please don't use the patterns, because they are usually pretty clear, easy to spot. If you look on your phone in the right angle, you'll be able to see what the pattern looks like. So please don't do that. Avoid that as soon as possible. And from that, the password hygiene and easy to break device, we go to the last point of the threats I wanted to mention about today. And it's one of the most common and one of the biggest issue for everyone. No matter it's you lose or your private device will be stolen, or you have that issue of your company-owned device, you are usually have big issues. Not in fact, not only because you lost money, because the devices aren't cheap nowadays, but this is in fact top of the ice mountain. So it's just the first step of the issues you might get, because if you use some poor password, if your device wasn't secured enough, if you don't have any way to lock your device, you just can wait. You can only wait and pray that somebody who will find the device will try to find his owner, or he won't be smart enough to break it. Because if you lose your device and your device will be stolen and you don't have proper protection to just even on the lock screen, you just need to wait to what's happened, because you cannot do anything. In fact, you can lose all your data, you can use all your pictures, you can use all your contacts, and it can be very embarrassing if that situation happened, in fact. And it can be very, very painful for a company if there was a user, if that user, which for example, lose device, has access to very important data, which shouldn't be available for somebody who just found that phone. So we can cover that issue as well, because in all EMM solution, you are able to or wipe device, so remove all data what was on that mobile device, or for example, just lock device. So even if somebody will find it, even if somebody will guess your simple PIN or will guess the pattern, you'll be still able to lock device and nobody will be able to use it. So it's very useful and very recommended to just be aware. And you also have to, as IT administrator, you also have to inform your user. So if you lost device, give me information as soon as possible. I will lock it, I will secure it. Just give me the information as soon as possible. So this is it. So this is gonna be the top, sadly the top most common threats, but sadly not. I wasn't able to mention all of them because it's a huge list. That what can be wrong with your mobile device. So I will just now go to our almost last step in presentation. So I will tell you a little about our solution. So as I mentioned before a few times, the usual answer for all the threats I mentioned is in fact using the proper EMM or MDM solution. So I will just talk about the solution which I know the best. So our solution, which is called Proget. Our solution gives IT administration ability to manage over the Android, iOS, and Windows devices. So in fact, all that your employee can take from company to use to do home office, we can cover, we can protect. So this is very, of course, important for everyone, that we can cover all kind of modern devices. Our solution is available via a web browser. So you have one console to administrate all kind of devices. So this is very, very useful. You just need to have access to your web browser, and in fact, that's it. Our solution can be installed in cloud, so you don't need any your own infrastructure. Or of course, it can be installed also on premise if, for example, you want all the data kept in your own environment. So this is also approach that we cover. As I mentioned, and in fact, the beginning of the presentation, our solution is designed to be simple. It's designed to be easy to use for all the users. And one of the parts of that approach is that our solution is very high responsiveness, has very high responsiveness. So for example, if you want to force some action, so if you want to lock device, if you want to wipe device, if you want to do anything, we can help you. We can do it very fast, very quick. So in fact, many times you don't even get a response from our solution that something, yeah, we have confirmation, but this action already happened on the mobile device. So it's very easy to test. It's very easy to try. So if you want to really, you should just check it, try it. It's worth it. The next part will be the licensing. It's very easy, very simple. So if you have one device, you need one license. No levels, no any tricky approaches, no additional pay-ups. Just one license, one device, and you will be fully covered. In fact, your fleet will be covered. And of course, in license, there is also our support. So we support our customers from the beginning. In fact, even before we start to deploy the server, before we start the deployment, we are usually speaking with the customers. We are asking about the needs. We are asking what they want to do, what kind of approach they want to have on their mobile fleet, because there are many different approaches, many different ways that you can manage. And we are helping, in fact, from the beginning, from even the planning to the deployment of devices, and of course, in the whole life cycle. As soon as you have a valid license, you have valid technical support, which is available all the time for you. Also, our solution is very scalable for any kind of company. So if you use few devices, because we have very small customers, small business, and we have corporate customers, so you just can use same simple one console with all the features available just for you, no matter how much devices you are using. We make the tests, and the biggest capability of our solution is just to manage 100,000 devices in the same time. So this is a pretty huge amount. So even big corporation will be able to manage devices through our solution very easy and very fast. If you want more information about our solution, about our company, I can invite you to our software, to our website, progetsoftware.com, where you can find all the information about our software. You can also get a free trial for 30 days, which can be very, very useful for you in cloud, of course. You can also visit our LinkedIn profile, where there is always some news around, so it's very useful. And if you want to see how our software looks like and how it works in action, in fact, you can visit our YouTube channel, because there's lots of movies which usually made by me, and of course you can just see how it looks like, how high the responsiveness is, and it's maybe a very very cool content for you. That will be all for my today presentation. Thank you very much for your attention, and see you soon.